drive our specific behaviors. The values determine what motivates us and also what demoralizes us. So you've got, we went through some negative team experiences. Some of the things that you expressed, they're just demoralizing. I think we've all experienced some positives and negatives throughout our career. So our values influence our decision making and drives our responses to other teams, management, customers, and in general, just the way we work and how we work. Teams, they need to determine what values they hold in common. You determine what values you hold in common, then you can kind of work together and move the team forward in a very positive manner. Creating rules of the road, they will help establish the foundation for effective team communications, conflict resolutions, and also accountability. So with that, if you would be able to turn to the team handout guide, page 2.
Now I should be sharing the screen that says characteristic 1, creating the rules of the road. And I got a thumbs up from Edwin, I think, that you can see that.
See it.
Great.
I can see it.
Good. Thank you.
So if everyone has this in front of them, either on the computer or printed out in front of them, what I'd like you to do is each individually place a check next to the items that concern you most about how your team will work together. Don't put any more than 5, so a maximum of 5. And then we'll compare the items checked with those with other team members just through a simple multi-vote. And then for each team that has been checked by half the team or more, we're going to do a tick mark next to that item. We're going to count the tick marks, select the top 5 items with the greatest number of tick marks, and then we'll use these areas of frustration and concern. Then we'll write a statement. Probably just write one statement, Jane. I think is really where we were going to go with this. Write a statement that declares how your team will handle these items in the future. So if you can be specific, that would be most helpful.
So Henry just finished the instructions. So now I'm going to scroll down so you can see. I don't know how I'm going to clear that check. I'm going to clear that check mark. So now you can see all the items. It's just it's not a complete list, so there's some things that say others. So, maybe just reflect, the 4 of you, on some past experiences, and just take a few minutes, as Henry said, and check the ones that are the most concern to you.
And then we'll get back together and go to the bottom of the page. A thumbs up when you're done.
And Haley, are you going to be able to help Kristen with her participation?
Yeah.
Good, thanks. So I'll look for her feedback on the chat, maybe.
Yeah, I'll put it in there for you.
Thank you. It's not my house.
Not mine.
Not mine. Fire alarm going off somewhere?
Break.
It must be a
That's
break.
what-
Break
Good.
out.
Break time.
Break
Okay.
time.
Everybody's in school.
No school is break, working. 10 o'clock break.
10 o'clock.
You're going to work through break with us, Edwin?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much.
Trying.
You're doing
A little
great.
nervous, but it's okay.
You're doing great. Hey, you can't be as nervous as me. Look, my palms are sweaty.
I'm the same way too. I'm there too. I'm there.
Good. I'm glad I'm glad I have someone who can empathize with me. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out. I'm going to try to use a check mark. So I have some feedback from Randall, and I'm going to see if I can. So we've got this. Here. Okay, there's Randall's inputs on his top 5 concerns. Edwin, do you have your top 5? You could tell them to me verbally.
I say honestly, respect for another, participation, decision making.
Thanks, Edwin. I just got a text from Kristen via her median, but via her spokesperson. Work-life balance, workload balance, emotional reaction, helping each other, decision-making. Just not exactly sure how the list is written, so take me a minute to, and participation. Thank you, Kristen. Becky, can you share your top 5?
Sure. Integrity, workload balance, empathy, open communication, and I know we only have to pick 5. I had a hard time between conflict resolution and respect for others, so that's 6.
There's always a rule breaker. There's always a rule breaker. So thank you, everyone. Henry, I think I'll hand it back to you.
Right, so it looks like decision making has 3 check marks.
Yeah, I know they're
Um,
messy, but there's 3 there.
Yeah. Then respect for others. Participation has 2. And let's go then with workload. Let's do helping each other. I think let's do 4.
No, we're going to do 1.
Just 1. All right. Then we'll scroll down to the bottom. So decision making looks like that's the most popular.
Oopsie.
Yep.
Okay, I scrolled down, but the check marks stayed where they were, but admit. Oh, so Becky, you came back, I think.
Sorry about that. Yep.
Okay,
All right.
Sorry about
great.
that.
Welcome back. So I'm going to clear, so we know what they were. Did someone write down the top 3?
Decision making,
So did you write-
participation, respect for others, helping each other.
So you wrote them down, Henry?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to clear the annotations. Okay, and now scroll down, and here we are. So this top 1 was decision making. So we want to write a rule of the road about how we're going to deal with that item of concern.
So we're kind of write a statement that declares how, as a team, you would handle these items in the future. So using chat, I think chat would probably be a good way to do it. Write a rule for your team that you believe would help reach, I'll say, consensus on how you will handle decision making on your team.
Or we can just, the people that have audio, we can just have a general chat about what would be a good role rule, sorry.
The role for the rule. Don't put me in the doghouse.
Can I volunteer?
Sure, Kath.
Okay, I would say, when we're talking about decision making, we might want to set a rule on teams I've been on that no decision is made until all points of view are expressed by team members.
So a few of you had checked decision-making as a concern. Would that help? Writing that rule, the rules of the road?
In my environment, it's pretty tough to get everybody else's to express their point of view.
Mhm.
It's most of the decisions are made, how to say it, on the spur of the moment type of thing. We have a few minutes to make
Yeah.
before we make a decision. So I'm actually struggling with this one.
Okay.
How do I come up with a rule for this?
You almost can just, I don't want to say dictate, but if you're in a room with a bunch of people, you just go around the room.
Oh, great. So I've got a chat from Kristen that didn't have to come through Haley. So
Great.
I think everybody could see that. I'd like to get everyone's input, at least so I can understand where they're coming from. Becky, do you have anything to share?
Yes. So I think one of the ones that was listed was respect for others, or do you
I
want to
can
say
learn
what
to
you want-
understand you much.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, did you want me to stay on the current rule that we're working on, or?
Yes, we're looking at decision making.
Oh, right. So I think understanding that everyone's perspective has value to a decision. So by hearing them out or encouraging that, like there is no incorrect, or kind of like when someone says, "Oh, I have a stupid question." It's like, no one has a stupid question or a stupid perspective, because all perspectives are valued the same, because it will give input for decisions. So it's important to hear those different perspectives.
Oh, I think we lost Becky.
Yeah. I got her thoughts. I captured them. So maybe to Randall's point of view is that from his concern is that we might not be able to get everyone to express their point of view in these spur of the moment decisions. But if you write this rule at the start where just stating that we want people to express their opinion and that those perspectives will be valued is a way to avoid issues with the decisions later on.
Yeah.
We get a whole module. We'll talk about decision making ad nauseum later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Becky came back. Welcome back, Becky.
Sorry about that.
No, not a problem. Like I said, I mean, we're all new to this technology, or at least I am, and we're all going to learn both about Teams and about Zoom, and we're going to have fun doing it.
That's right. We're all a team here learning about Zoom.
Yeah. So
Simultaneously. So
I think, do you get the feel about how this would work when you had your lean team together, or whatever team that you're working on, that you'd identify? Just hearing what everyone's concerns, top 5 concerns are, kind of helps you get back on the same page. And then you'd brainstorm and write some things and get everyone's perspective. It's a little difficult facilitating this training when we have people from all different companies, but can think about running this workshop with, Edwin, with a group, a key group of your supervisors or team leaders. and just getting to hear what they're concerned about, and then just trying to write a rule that will help get everyone on the same page. Kristen, do you have anything to add now that you've heard a few people's input?
So she did hers via Zoom, the chat.
But yeah, we got her input.
About what the rule is. We've got her top 5, but we didn't get Kristen's.
Yeah, we did. Kristen
did?
said, yeah, I like to get everyone's input,
Huh?
at least so I can understand where they are coming from.
Okay. Oh, I'm not seeing that.
Thanks,
so-
Henry.
It's in the chat.
Oh, now I see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it before Henry read it. I don't know. Sorry. Oh, I get it. I get it. I thought you were,
Jane
Kristen,
thought that was the question. Yeah.
Kristen, I thought you were
Yeah.
telling me you were going to wait to get
Yeah.
everyone's input on the training. My bad.
No, that makes sense.
Wow. I'm having
Well-
fun. Anybody else?
Yep.
So no, it's my confusion, Kristen, my confusion. So good. So that would be a rule that you could write. Everyone bring their point forward. We're all valued, and make sure we understand where everyone's coming from. So
Well, there's a lesson to be learned here, Jane, on this, in that, when you put things in writing only, there are
yeah,
two different interpretations, or can be multiple interpretations of what the author is trying to convey.
Yeah.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
and then when you read it, Henry, it brought Kristen's voice to it, and now I understood better. So that's a great learning about how things can be misinterpreted, and how it's important to state that we're going to work until we understand it. And I understand, Randall, that in the spur of the moment, we got to get production done, we got to make a decision, we got to move on. But when we're talking about a lean team, these are decisions that aren't urgent in the spur of the moment, but they're decisions that we need to make as a cultural change.
Understood.
Yeah. Okay.
So the common theme is we need to get as many people to get their input when we're making a decision. It generally seems to be the consensus from everyone in this our humble little group.
Yeah. And Kristen just sent us chat to everyone that without that verbal cue and just the words via email, the confusion happens a lot. So maybe we can talk about that in some of the later characteristics that we'll talk about. So.
Sending out an email is, you can put it into words, and you send it to somebody, and they come back at you like you angered them, and you go, "What did I say? I didn't hear."
Mm-hmm.
And then you reread it and go, "Oh, I can see where that was taken that way. Damn." All right, so why don't we?
In writing emails and stuff makes your message very curt, and people take it the wrong way. So you have to be very leery of emails.
Break's over.
So.
Henry, so we want to go back?
Yeah, let's
to the
go on.
PowerPoint?
Let's move on back to the. I think we covered everything on this one, so let's just move back to the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, I'm sharing the PowerPoint. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions on establishing rules of the road? The benefits, concerns? All right, why don't we zing on to characteristic 2, team behaviors and norms. The things that we agree to as a team do not always match behaviors we see and/or display, as kind of we just learned. We agree on something and we read something else entirely different meaning into the same words. So we need to understand where we fall short as a team and as individuals. It's important, very important for a successful lean team, or any team for that matter, to face these shortfalls head on right away and develop a plan on how to address them. We cannot let those fester. So let's go down back to our handout.
And I just want to make a comment. Sorry, Henry. I'm not sure if Kristen was on when I announced that we are recording this session. So I apologize, Kristen, if you didn't know that, but I've started recording this just for our internal training and improvement activities. If you have a problem with that, you could chat with me privately, and I'll make necessary changes. I'm sorry, Henry, to interrupt. Back to you.
Okay. So on page 3, going to do a team builder exercise. We want to conduct a brainstorming exercise. We want to list the top 10 team builder behaviors you desire to encourage in your team members to be a highly successful team. No more than 10, but you really don't need to list that many. If you come up with 5, you don't have any more, that's fine too. So what are the top 10 characteristics that you people want to feel would be beneficial for your team members to demonstrate? Take a few minutes and come up with as many as you can, and then we'll go over them.
Okay.
2 more minutes.
And we could probably do this when everyone's done as a round robin. So
Yeah, I'm kind of hopeful Kristen wouldn't mind her being recorded.
yeah, we're all set. Thanks.
All right, so let's start with the person who's first on my list on the screen. Randolph, how about you? What would be what's a characteristic that you'd like to see someone exhibit on the team that you're on?
There's something I call spatial awareness. It's more
Spatial?
so, say it again?
Spatial
or spatial?
Spatial.
do I have it right?
Hold on. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more so awareness of more than just you. It's, I mean, a lot of people tend to be drilled down into only what they're doing in our environment. We inspect quality is very, very important. So the products that are coming off the line, we really need to inspect it, but we also need to be aware of what's going on with the other person or the other line behind you, or with a few other things that's in the environment in its entirety. So I would love to see everybody on board with that and working together where that is concerned.
I just got a little problem with my Word doc. I want to change that to single. My apologies to that.
Basically have a broad view.
Yeah.
Does that capture what you
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, thanks.
All right. One from Kristen, motivation. He beat me.
Did you want to elaborate on that, Kristen, like Randall did? It's Randall, right?
Randolph.
Randolph.
Did I've been calling you Randall all morning?
Yes.
I had I lived in St. Louis for some years, and my friends at the bar would call me Randall. And I got so tired of correcting them, I let them go on for about 2 years.
Oh, so does that means you think of me as a bar buddy?
Nope, not yet.
I apologize.
All right.
Still thinking, maybe, you know?
Oh,
Kristen, do you have anything? Do you want to elaborate at all, like Randolph did? Okay, here it is. Motivation.
I like to see my team focused on the project. We can sometimes get sidetracked with side conversations and topics.
Okay. So that's what you meant by motivation. Got it. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Edwin, how about throwing one up for us?
First thing, we need respect.
For each other?
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Very critical. All right. Let's see. How about Becky? Becky on?
Yep.
Yeah.
I put not to be fearful of change, and that could mean, maybe you don't talk with a colleague as much, so you don't know them, so you might not realize, like, you might actually have a new working relationship, or don't fear change in the fact that because things are open for conversation, that new ideas will come forward, and that could mean good change, not necessarily negative change. I think there's a lot of people who fear change when they're doing team building because they're not sure how innovation or sharing of ideas will impact what they're so used to doing.
So I kind of captured it. Can you see the screen,
Yes.
Becky?
No, I'm just on the phone.
Okay.
I'm just on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what?
I'm
So I'm trying to write. I'm trying to scribe what everyone's saying. So I think you heard everything. But when I typed not to be fearful of change. A good team builder characteristic would be don't view change as negative. That's one. And then a separate one I scribed for your input would be trust that new ideas can come forward. Is that accurate?
Yep, that's great. Yep, thank you. Yep.
Maybe Haley could participate.
oh boy. I've been running back and forth and answering emails and text messages.
So a good team builder behavior would be focus on the project at hand, right?
Well, you know
right,
what,
Kristen?
For me, I think I probably would have gone with what Becky has gone with too. Every place I've ever been with teams, I think the change is the biggest thing. People are very fearful of it, and having new ideas that come about that it, I honestly, I think that's what I would go with the most. That's the most.
That's going to help us the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I would pitch in something that I think Haley exhibits, and she works with our teams. She has a very good attitude. So having a good attitude is a real team builder.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
I mean that sincerely. You do a
Thank
great
you.
job there, Haley.
Thanks.
Maybe one I'd probably throw in there, Jane, is somebody who's willing to kind of pitch in.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of work to be done to say, yeah, I'll help out with this person to get that accomplished for the team.
Okay. So you could see how this would work with your teams, that we'd have this brainstorming and it would just get everyone sort of like thinking about those behaviors that they like to see in their teammates.
Offers, how about offers constructive suggestions? constructive comments. Kind of goes through with a good attitude, but takes it a step further. And
So I just added mine, has a good sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, I've written down on mine, has fun. So same thing,
Okay.
has a good sense of humor, yeah.
about shows up on time and is prepared.
Always.
All right. Now take, Jane, if you can shrink that a little bit so everyone can see all of them. Take a minute, no more than a minute, and look at that list and see which ones that you exhibit now, and then ones that you could see yourself improving to maximize your efforts to be a more effective team player. And then we'll jump off into the next realm.
So Becky, because you can't see the screen, it's this spatial awareness that we are aware of more than just ourselves, but how our actions affect others. Motivation, being focused on the project and not sidetracked. Respect for each other, not fearful of change. Don't view change as a negative. Trust that new ideas can come forward. Good attitude, willing to pitch in, offers constructive comments, has a good sense of humor. So think about the reflection. I don't know if you have the handout, but this is where we are. Which of the aboves do I exhibit? Okay, you're good. All right. And Kristen, you're good?
All right. So now let's go to page 4. So now we're just gonna kind of do the opposite. As you all looked at and postulated your experiences from negative teams, this is kind of where you can come up with some team wrecker behavior. So let's do another brainstorming exercise where we list the top 10 team wrecker behaviors that we want to discourage in our team. Take a couple minutes, come up with a few, and then we'll start throwing them out there.
Sometimes it's easier to think about the negative than the positive.
Just think of teams that you've participated in, and those teams that have those things that team members have done that have really, led the team perhaps in the wrong direction, that really did not make for a good teamwork environment.
Much time do we have?
You always remember those more than the positives.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
All right.
Haley, I'm going to pick on you again, so be ready.
That's fine. I got a bunch for this.
Hey, I'm glad we can get Haley involved in this. She's glad to learn, so here we
Present
are. We got
company
her involved.
excluded, I hope.
Maybe.
I just have a feeling I'm getting thrown under the bus pretty soon.
No.
Exhibiting that good sense of humor,
No.
Okay.
Oh, Kristen
Okay.
says we all probably have a bunch for this one too.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, so
All right, well, why don't we'll start with Kristen.
constant complaining.
Oh, that's a very good one. Yes.
Did you want to go to the effect now, Henry, or did you want to just get more
We'll do
listed?
the effect later.
Okay. We'll come back to Kristen. Edwin?
Edwin, what do you think?
Not listening?
Huh?
Not listening.
Huh? Duh, you get it?
Good one, Jane. Good one.
But I think you scored a good one there.
Just displaying one of my team builder characteristics of having a good sense of humor.
assuming we all thought it was funny.
I got chuckles.
All right, Randolph, not Randall, Randolph.
And all.
Knew I was going to get thrown under the bus.
Huh?
I'm not on mute. Good. I have a couple. That's not my job.
Yeah.
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 I actually have a few people that finds fault with any new ideas that anyone tries to bring up.
Yeah.
Then there are the non-participants, I say, that the people that just don't participate. They just have a sort of like a very, I wouldn't even call it reserve, might be a nice word, but it's not a reserved attitude. It's like, I'm not in this at all type of attitude.
Not really acting as team members.
Yeah, not participating.
They're not-
Occupying a seat in the meeting, huh?
Yeah, they're not even present.
Becky, how about you from a distance?
Yes, so somebody who just points blame. So if you're reviewing something and someone says, well, that's not my fault, or that wouldn't have happened if so-and-so didn't do this. So just wanting to blame someone. And then also just not being engaged and not present. So kind of just nodding the head and being a yes, but not really actually being energized and present with the process.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
good.
going to piggyback that onto Randolph's non-participant.
You got it right, Randolph. Yay, Randolph.
I have support. Support is good.
There you go, Kathy. I got another one from Kristen here. Tattletale behavior.
Mm.
Sometimes it's good.
Sometimes that's good.
Sometimes.
But I mean, this is like, I don't like Henry, so I keep going to Haley and complaining about him, right? Telling her what he did wrong and how much time that sucks out of people's lives.
Yeah.
I tell it.
Not you too.
Yeah. So there's a good, I mean, there's a good list.
All
I
right.
mean, not a good list, a bad list, but
It's a
you
good
could
bad
see,
list.
you could see doing that with your team.
So
Right.
now let's look at each of these behaviors and write down what effect you think they will have on the team.
And Kristen had sent me one, so I'm just getting that typed in to
Mhm.
the document. And for Becky, Chris, that first one, we said constant complaining, and Kristen said low morale, less willingness to work together.
Okay, got it.
All right, not listening. How does that have, what effect does that have on a team?
A lot.
In what ways, Edwin?
That's rule number one. You're supposed to listen on what you get.
What happens if someone's not listening? What's the effect on the team?
It will affect everything. One person not listening to the group is a big problem.
Team
Okay.
loses focus.
Yeah.
There's a lack of respect and a lack of trust.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard lack of respect, but did you say something else, Becky?
Lack of trust.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. How about that's not my job. I laughed, Randolph, because when I was a plant manager, I got that all the time. And I took a little Post-it note and it was job description, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And I gave that to someone.
Wow.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Oh.
laughed out loud when you came up with that record behavior.
That's not my job. That kills team morale and
Yeah.
breeds resentment.
Yes.
He overwon the team.
What's that, Edwin?
He overwon the team. You're trying to do something and the other guy don't want to do it. It's not my job. That's
Oh, it overwhelms. It puts
Yeah.
more of a
Overwhelm, yeah.
workload on the other team members. So it goes
Others
to
have
what
to
we
pick it
talked
up.
about, that balance
Yeah.
workload. Yeah.
Great.
Are we on to finding fault?
Yeah. Got one on there?
Yeah, I think when you find fault with new ideas, and I'm mostly talking about progressive ideas here, it really slows any progress the team could make down. It slows down the team.
Yeah.
It kind of stalls them actually.
Yeah.
And it's going to make people less apt to make new suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say reluctant.
Whenever I come across that, I always ask, I can understand that. Well, what would you think is better?
Yeah, so that might be a good segue, Henry, to the secondary. So we could go through all of these, but we just want to give you a flavor about how you would work with your team to create these lists and brainstorm the effect.
All right. So remembering the rules of the road, characteristic 1, are what the team agreed to as acceptable behaviors. The way the team members actually behave is the norm, and norms are typically unspoken and often unconscious, but they are what the team deems acceptable. So, what do you do when you cross these negative behaviors? So I would, let's brainstorm and write a new rule of the road.
For which one, Henry?
Let's do, that's not my job.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call it number 1.
Yeah.
So what could we write for a rule of the road to try to discourage that team record behavior?
Any ideas?
What's the rule? What could we write for a rule?
You can have a rule, something to the effect like it's everybody's job.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the old saying of there's no I in team, right? So we're being brought together as a team to discuss this. So this is all of our jobs in this moment.
I actually like that statement. This is all of our jobs in this moment.
So if you write that, if you write that at the beginning of your team, and then you see this behavior that's, you hear someone saying that's not my job, or you can see that behavior, then you can come back and say, we agreed as a team that this is all part of our job at this moment. And I also typed up what Kristen had put in the chat, is focus on how we all need to work together to get the project done.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. So, Becky, we'll get this to you. I guess, Haley, could you email out this?
What we'll do, Jane, is we'll put this recording in the same folder. So where all of the documents are. So
Okay.
we can drop this right in there, and then she can access this video, and it'll have all of this information will be in it as well.
Everything that I'm typing, she'll be able to see?
Yeah, because you're recording your video right now, so it'll show everything.
Great. I'm glad that we have someone with answers.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put it right into the folder.
Okay, Henry, we have about 20 minutes. I think we have about 20 minutes left. I made the commitment that we'd close at 11. My suggestion would be that we cover the material about characteristic 3, but that we don't do the exercise.
All right, you want to save the exercise for then next week?
For
Or tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, that works for me. So why don't they go back to the PowerPoint?
Okay, hold on a sec. Okay. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we completed the exercises on 3 and 4 with our team behaviors and norms. Let's go on to characteristic 3. Characteristic 3 is critical, in my mind, if not the most critical, is defining a shared purpose. Teams require a challenging but attainable purpose to thrive. So the quote is, reach for the stars and you may get the moon. And there are 4 criteria that really motivate a good team. Got to be challenging. Held in common, meaning everyone has the same goal. It's got to be attainable. And measurable.
Hmm.
There's we used to have a thing called SMART goals.
Yeah.
Strategic, measurable, attainable.
Reasonable.
Relatable.
And then time bound.
Yeah.
You reach for the stars, well, you know, that could be 50 bazillion years out. So, challenging, held in common, attainable, measurable. It's got to be attainable, otherwise you'll demotivate people. Everyone want everyone to hold that goal in common, so we're all bought into the concept. It's got to be a challenging, because just to write something that's, you know, coming up with something that's too easy isn't fun. And it has to be measurable, so you know how you know, basically when the team is finished, or how you've achieved certain different milestones. There's 4 components of the shared purpose: the vision, the mission, organizational alignment, and then the mission essential task list or medal. Otherwise, we're just a group of people sitting around a table enjoying a cup of coffee or tea. So the vision. The vision defines a preferred future state, a lofty goal, as an example. It explains where the team is headed. Some good examples of vision statements gleaned over the years from John F. Kennedy, and I wasn't old to see this, but maybe Jane was.
Love you, Henry. Love you. Love you. Actually,
go ahead, Jane.
Actually, I didn't hear him give the speech, but I have a story is that when they were landing on, I don't know what Apollo mission it was, but when they were landing on the moon, I was at my grandparents' house, and they thought I was too young to stay up that late.
No way.
So they made me go to bed, but I crept out and opened the door so I could see it.
That's terrible.
Hey, family, family.
Yeah. So we choose
I lost
to.
the original tape of landing on the moon too. Somebody recorded over it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry to divert you, Henry. Go for it.
What do I have to do? Go back and retape it?
Kristen, can you chime in and help us get focused? Because that was one of your big team record things.
So, all right, that's funny. We choose to go to John Kennedy in 1961, I guess at his inauguration. We choose to go to the moon in this decade. I think that spurred the whole scientific community, because everyone pulled together. Then Google search, every employee is a problem solver and every leader is a coach. That goes back to, it's not my job. Every employee is a problem solver.
I like that.
Steve Jobs, a computer in the hands of everyday people. And then at Parker Hannafin, where Kathleen came from, lean is the way we do things. So those statements kind of set, here's where we're going to go. Sets the direction, not necessarily the end point, but it can have the end point. So it is really the motivator.
Yeah, it allows, very few words, something that everybody can kind of gather around and understand. You may not know all the specifics of it, but, we choose to go to the moon in this decade. You got that end goal out there that we wanted to do. We weren't really sure the steps to get there, but it was a vision out there that people were looking to accomplish. Very, as Henry said, and very time bound as well. Very smart, time bound. We're going to do it by the end of the decade. Decade.
The way he said it was decade.
You're in Massachusetts, yeah.
So does that make sense that the vision is this motivational thing that gets people energized and kind of like psyched to do the hard work?
Set the direction.
Okay.
We got a thumbs up from Kristen. Thank you.
How'd you see that?
In
A
the
thumbs up
chat.
on my screen here.
In
Thumbs
the
up.
chat.
Well, it's on the screen too.
Not for me. Okay, sorry, I digress.
All right.
Give you a thumbs up, Jane.
Thank you.
All right. So once we have a vision, how do we get there? The mission describes the how. This communicates how the team will achieve the vision. One of the things that Kennedy said was he also said we choose to go to the moon, but he also specified we got to get them back safely too. Figured that was kind of important, especially for the guys that were going to the moon. Examples of the mission: to add value to all stakeholders by systematically driving out waste in the value stream through sustainable continuous improvement. So these are mission statements for companies that are embarking on their lean journey. Second one would be the lean enterprise will be accomplished through education to see waste, a system to change it, and the leadership to sustain improvements. All right, so instead of going to the exercise on page 5, we'll probably work on those tonight if possible, or this afternoon.
Well, we
But now
probably could show the exercise, but not do it together. So
All right.
I think this is a big, heavy lift. This is, I think, what you said earlier, Randolph, that, your president has a vision and, and maybe Edwin, there's what you're trying to accomplish at your company, and Kristen and Becky too, isn't really clear. So we can work through the exercise, but then ask you to think about it offline.
Mhm.
That be fair?
Yes.
Okay. So you want me to share the exercise, Henry?
Real quick, sure.
Okay, so I'm in the handout. Can you see the handout? I'm still on the last characteristic.
I can see the handout.
Okay,
Yep.
so now I'm scrolling down to establishing a shared purpose.
You might want to, under the vision statement, take out some of those funny things.
Oh, sorry, I must have,
Yada, yada, yada.
okay,
So at some point this evening or this afternoon, we'll come back tomorrow and go over this. I'd like you to look at, describe your team's future state in a brief vision statement. Where are you going? Where you'll be in a year from now, or some time fence, and what do you want to accomplish together? And then once that mission statement is drafted, we can share it tomorrow, and then we'll draft an overall vision. And then after that, Jane, if you could scroll down a tad, we'll look
Sorry.
at developing, not a problem, we'll look at developing a mission statement. We'll focus on some of the keywords, and then statements around what those key words may be. And then we'll draft the team's mission statement. Okay, let's go back to the,
Back to PowerPoint.
yeah, please.
Okay.
There we go. All right, so the mission statement describes the how. Get through that. If you get one more slide, Jane, that'd be helpful.
Oh, sorry.
Metal. Yep. Cool.
Organizational alignment. Also very important. The team's goals, mission, and the vision must be aligned with the organization's purpose. To do that, we typically utilize a management champion to ensure that there is close, if not exact, alignment. The management champion is a person in a position of authority in the company who is well vested in the team's success and can also break down any barriers that may exist and may arise during team's execution. At the beginning of the team, the management champion sets expectations with the beginning of the team, set expectations with the management champion. So the team and the management champion are in clear alignment. So Jane, if we want to quickly go over the exercise on page 6, we got 7 minutes to go.
Okay.
So we're going to end up with team management champion. We would schedule a review with the mission, schedule a review of the vision and mission statements with the team's management champion. You're going to want to document that. And so for an exercise, we will, the team and the management champion will generate a list of supporting items needed from the management champion. This gets the management champion bought in to the team and the team bought into the management champion.
So I'm scrolling down here so you
Yep.
can see the
That's
list.
done at the beginning of the team. So we can come up with ideas that the team feels the management champion should be providing. And as a reciprocal to that, items of support that the management champion feels the team should be providing to him or her.
Okay.
So
So,
keep us all in line.
okay. Okay. So that was a lot of information. Maybe just give it, give it some thought over until we meet again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We,
9.
9.
yes, you're right. You're all right. I'm wrong.
So just misguided, Jane.
I
I
thought
think
that was a test to see if we were paying attention.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right. That's what it was, Haley.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So don't stress about it. We're gonna revisit this when we start again in the morning, whatever time that is.
9.
And we've got 5 minutes before we close at 11. Just want to do a real quick plus delta. So a plus meaning what went well for you this morning. So a positive plus, and a delta, anything you'd ask us to change so that we can make some adjustments so tomorrow's session is more effective for you. And I'm just going to type it in the chat. So let me see, I'll change that to. Oh, and Haley, I just saw in the chat, Haley posted our email addresses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be glad to answer any questions. All three of us would be glad to answer any questions over the, while we're apart. So feel free to reach out. So plus, what was positive? I'd just like to capture a positive from each participant, and then what was, and then delta, anything you want us to change. Okay, I don't have to type it in because, well, Kristen's, since she's not verbal with us, she's typed in her positive, which is everyone got a chance to weigh in. Excellent, thank you. Randolph, a positive for you? Oh.
Well, it's an interesting positive. So as you guys can tell, I was a little all over the place this morning, and one of my issues was people here not doing the extra work, like going above and beyond. And to be very honest with you, whilst I was sitting here, there's a gentleman that came in about 10 different times, and he was helping me do my job or do parts of my that I would actually do. So he was handing me the documents. He was literally sweating because he's the guy from shipping, and he's been doing part of my job whilst I'm sitting here and part on his job, because today is truck day. So the truck should be here. It's probably packed already.
Yeah,
So we need to get the material, the products out the door. So that was really something for me to look forward to. I feel as though I have more and more people that I could look to for that team mindset and to help me build that organizational team vision that we're trying to build.
So I just tried to capture it, Randolph. A little multitasking. A gentleman came in 10 different times, so he was stepping up to the plate so you could participate in this. Oh,
that made me feel really good, to be honest with you.
That's good. That's cool. Edwin, a positive for the session for you?
Very good so far.
Okay. I don't like that so far, so you're looking to that it's going to change. Okay.
No, we're going to stay tomorrow. We got more, so good.
Okay. We already got Kristen's because she typed it in. I don't know if you could see that in the Zoom. She said what her positive was, that everyone had got a chance to weigh in. Kathy Strosick shared positive. Everyone participated. Love the sharing of the videos. I'm going to wait on your delta. Becky, a positive for you?
So I was going to say, even with all the challenges of Zoom and being virtual or on a phone call, I think one of the positives is the size of this group. I actually really appreciate that it doesn't exceed right now more than 10 people, because it allowed for everyone to speak and share and also interact with kind of this different way of doing the workshop. So smaller Zooms I find are actually much more effective versus like 30 people or like 100-person kind of Zoom. So I hope that is something that's kind of taken away as you guys have to do other virtual things. And then for Delta, if there's any, because we received the handouts earlier, if there's anything like the homework or things you should come prepared with, I find that helpful to know ahead of time. But the way that we did it today was very good. So if there's other stuff that helps prepare us to have either answers or questions ready, if we can do them ahead of time, that's awesome. If not, I like how you guys have done it so far.
Okay. So Delta from Becky was anything to do ahead of time, as you guys just all heard. I just typed that in the chat. And Kristen's up here was, where was it, Kristen? Everyone got a chance to weigh in. I guess Kristen didn't do a negative, a delta. So Kristen, any delta for you? Anything you want to see us change?
And I apologize, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. I have to scoot off to actually get onto another client call. So I appreciate your time, and I will talk with you later. Thank you.
Thanks. I promised we'd finish at 11. Thanks. Bye, Becky. Good luck. Kristen doesn't have a delta. Edwin, anything you'd like to see us change?
No, like how I say, everything look good. Everything's good.
Okay,
Maybe I get a new tablet tomorrow.
Yeah. Randolph, anything you'd like to see changed?
No.
Good.
Thank you all for your patience with me. I promise to be less busy tomorrow. More.
Yeah, it won't be truck day.
Yeah, it won't be.
All right. Thank you,
won't
everyone. I'm going to end the meeting, and we'll see you in the morning.
You guys did a really good job.
9 a.m.
Thank you very much.
9 a.m. See you
All
tomorrow
right.
morning at 9 a.m.
Stay
Yeah.
safe, everyone. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Nice day.
Hello.
Kathy, Henry, and Haley, can you stay on?
Sure.
Haley, you still here?
All right, bye.
No, she's on mute.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, I got a call. I had to answer it and say I'll call them back. So,
Can we just take a quick bio break for me? I just drank 3 freaking huge cups of coffee.
you got to pee? Ah,
Back in a minute.
ah.
Haley,
Yeah.
you're going to the waiting room.
No, come on.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I can't say anything because I was allowed to get up and go. So I could go whenever I needed to. I thought you guys did a really good job.
Good.
I
thought it was
did.
well.
I thought it was great. I mean, you did a great job with being able to, maneuver through people coming in late. And we had that girl, Kristen, she registered this morning. So, I mean, you got to think about being able to adapt that quickly to let her come in. And she sent me a text and she said, thank you. I'm so glad I joined in. The group is really great.
I forward her the meeting invite.
Yeah.
I don't know if she has one it should be the same for tomorrow, but I don't
Yeah.
know that.
It is. It's the same. Yep.
Okay.
It's the same invite.
She
Yeah.
want to make sure she has what she needs.
Yeah.
I should have stopped recording right before you asked if I had to pee.
Wow. That's okay. I think I may have said worse in some of these recordings.